Okay, well, hi, I'm Sadye Claxton. Um, yeah, first off, thanks so much for doing this because this is something that is definitely near and dear to my heart, and it's a lot. And I know you're doing a lot, and I'm very thankful for people like you who want to get the word out there. So, um, trap, neuter, release is obviously what we're here to talk about. I kind of got involved pretty organically. I moved to a neighborhood in Georgia that I don't know if people just didn't know about it or there weren't a lot of resources at the time. But I moved into a house, and over the first few weeks of being there, I noticed cats and kittens everywhere. And where they were cute, it was pretty overwhelming because I have a heart for animals, and I'm seeing sick kittens with discharge coming out of their eyes, adults who are super skinny and just like really matted hair. They just didn't look well. So I started to get concerned about how many cats were in the area and whether or not they were being cared for. Um, and then I think kind of the straw that broke the camel's back was I watched a litter of 5 kittens slowly dwindle to 4, and then 3, and then there was 1. And I'm going, okay, what's going on? Like, where are the kittens, And I'm sitting on my couch reading a book, and lo and behold, I see a hawk land on the power lines right above me, and I thought that's interesting. And then it clicked, and I looked, he's hunting kittens. Luckily, I was able to just like think fast and run out and grab literally a pillowcase, and I could get that kitten, which is not always the case, but I did throw him in a pillowcase, and that was the beginnings of me starting to look for ways to help this overpopulation problem.
Mhm. So anyway, you're seeing this in your neighborhood. Were you seeing people feeding in the neighborhood, or was it just they were all stray cats?
Yeah, so at first I assumed they were all stray cats. Then I did end up figuring out a couple houses up, there was a senior citizen. He was an older gentleman who loved the cats. He would go out and call for them every morning and just throw a ton of food. It was sobering to see how many cats ran to him every morning once I figured out where this was happening. And where it was endearing that, this gentleman really cared about the cats, it was disheartening to see that they were just continuing to multiply, and that wasn't a part of the caring for the cats. So that's when I started just literally researching online. I actually got on Facebook. We have like a neighborhood Facebook page, and just kind of put a short story as to what was going on. And some people reached out and started this conversation of TNR, which I had no idea what it was. But some ladies who were volunteering with an organization, they had a meeting at a coffee shop that was all about education and getting people involved. So I attended that and was quickly recruited to being another member of Kirk Cats, which is an organization here in Atlanta that does TNR. We add the C to TNR, so we do TNRC, which stands for care, because of course we do want to make sure once we release these cats that somebody is feeding and making sure they have water, because obviously we need that too. Someone who kind of knows the cats of that community colony and can reach out if one is obviously sick or injured. We certainly don't want to just put them back out and not have anybody looking out for them. So we are TNRC.
So it's similar here. We, and being in York County, South Carolina, kind of got started with the TNR. That was almost the easy part. It's easy to go get a trap. It's easy to catch a cat. It's not like you're after a fox or something, very wily. But the starting to kind of branch out into the care part now, having 3 kittens in the back bedroom, having placed a litter with your help of 4 kittens, seeing like at least trying to end the problem and take care of the kittens. So it's nice. I'm not sure, and I'll have to do some more investigating on this end too, because we've been lucky in the past and stumbled on, like, took in 2 calicos to be fixed, And those calicos, actually, the front desk girl at the vet was like, me and my mom do calico rescue. So then it was like, oh, great, keep those
Oh,
kittens as
wow.
soon as they're fixed, that sort of thing. But that's like, that was once, and once we got the mama fixed, that part was taken care of. But now we got these breakouts of black cats and gray cats. So,
Yep.
which is a much more difficult problem. How did he take that? I know you said you became a part of the TNRC community, but how did the old man take it when you first talked to him and approached that problem with him?
Yeah, it was interesting to start. He was pretty standoffish. I went and knocked on the door and he didn't even answer the door, which, rightfully so. He doesn't know me. We live in an interesting world. So, I thought about it, and I do think that this is also an opportunity to really get to know your neighbors, create community, create um, even friendships in a weird way. I'm gonna have to be best friends, but it is an opportunity to connect with your local neighbors. So what I did was I just grabbed a really small case of Fancy Feast cat food the next time, and I went to his door with that, knocked on the door again. This time, I don't know if it was his daughter. Anyway, somebody else came out. I just said, "Hey, I just stopped by. I see, all of these beautiful cats. I just was wondering if you were interested in having any help with them." Period. That's kind of where the door opened. I didn't necessarily go at it guns blazing saying, we need to, this is a problem. Because really at the end of the day, a lot of people really do care about the cats. I don't think that they are processing that when you continue to feed the cats and they're not getting fixed, that it's actually putting them back out to a life of a lot of suffering, honestly. But approaching it with the, hey, I love your cats. Here's some food. I'd love to see if you would like some help, is really where we found a common ground, bringing food to start. Then I just kind of, had some neighborly conversation with him, told him how much I liked cats, and just slowly started to ask, how many babies have you seen this season? Where, is it getting harder to feed them? How much is this costing you? Which kind of helped him start to process too, like more and more are coming. And yes, I'm spending more and more money on this. And then I was able to just kind of explain to him why fixing them would really just help the entire situation. And it's actually for the better of the cats. It's a better life for these cats. And I think that's what he finally connected with, because again, they care about the cats. They just don't understand how not fixing them is just perpetuating suffering.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if it's an issue of it's easy to sling food. It's hard to
Yeah.
go out and set a trap. And then there's been some trouble in the past year too, where you're paying out of pocket to get these cats fixed. And so
Yeah.
not just recently, in the past year or so, the animal control has been offering free, spaying and neutering services with release. And even though they're still like overwhelmed